Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Mr. Ian Wright.
Hello and welcome to What Kids Really Think, the show that delves into the minds of today's kids in the hope of finding out what really goes on inside. Tonight we're talking about marriage and family, and we'll be joined by a special guest tonight, TV presenter, domestic goddess, Ulrika Johnson. Ulrika Johnson. I love Ulrika Johnson. The secrets of family life normally remain firmly behind closed doors. Well, not anymore, because these kids are about to reveal all. So let's begin with a fact. 7 million people currently live alone in the UK, and that figure has quadrupled since 1961, which makes me wonder, if single life is so great, why do people bother getting married?
I know why, because if you don't get married, you get all lonely. I don't know, I've never been married yet.
Because they love somebody. Because it was true love. When you see somebody, it's the connection with the eyes. Connection.
And because they want to be with each other, they don't want to be lonely, they can't live without each other.
And sometimes it's for legal reasons.
Sometimes they do it because they're drunk and they don't know what they're doing.
If you haven't got a wife or children, you'll be very lonely.
It's always better to have another pair of hands in case something goes wrong.
Or maybe it's because of the money.
Right, because that somebody was really rich, and she said, "Oh, man, can I marry you?" And they said, "Of course." And then they murdered their husband, and she got all the money from his will because he thought that he loved her. That's my plan for the future.
Yes, one benefit of marriage is that extra pair of hands, all the better for strangling your husband. We should keep our eye on her, I think. Whatever the reasons for getting married, our kids really know their stuff. But what do they know about the actual wedding day?
When I go to weddings, I'm bored.
The bride walks up the aisle with the bridesmaids and all. First, the flower girl goes first, followed by the bridesmaid. And then the groom's already up there, and the bride comes last.
Do you take this man to be your lovely wedded husband? And then they go, yeah, I do. And then he goes, do you take this woman to be your lovely wedded wife? And he goes, yeah, I think so. And then they say, and then it's my honour to say that you are now man and wife. And then at the end he says, you may kiss the bride.
Da, 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 da. And then they walk out, and then they get these sprinkle things on their heads.
You have the mums crying, and you have the babies crying, and you have the bride and the groom crying, and you have the priest crying, and you have everyone crying. And then you have a party.
And you have blow out the candles in the wedding cake. They do barn dances, and sometimes they do the hippo dance. That's pretty much it, yeah.
Hello, Rachel. How are you?
Hi.
You've got to clear something up for me. What is the hippo dance?
Well, you have to wiggle your bum.
How do you wiggle? Show me how you wiggle your bum. Can you wiggle your bum there? Let me see.
Yeah.
Can you teach it to me? Is that the hippo dance?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it together. Okay. Wiggle. Oh. Well, thank you very much for that, Rachel. So, how many weddings have you been to? Did I do the hippo dance there?
Yeah, I did. I went to 2 weddings.
Were they good weddings?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Are you married?
No.
Are you
not
sure?
Yet.
Don't rush into it, will you?
No.
And you keep practicing that hippo dance. Let's thank Rachel. Isn't Rachel great? Okay, take a look at this. Average age of marriage for men is 31, and women, it's 29. Now, back in 1961, it was 26 for men and 23 for women. So we're choosing to tie the knot a little bit later in life. But what do kids think is the right age to say, I do?
About 30 or 20 or 40.
I think really when you're going on to just be a teenager, about 11.
I think you should be about over 20. My mummy's over 20 and she still isn't married. Probably about 32 because that's the youngest age I think you can get married. Whenever I'm 21, I'd go out with her for 9 years and get married at 30. So I would. That's what I'd do.
Go out with her for 9 years, then get married. That's good advice. You don't want people to think you're rushing into it, you know? And anyway, you'll need lots of time because you're going to really have to pick out a nice wedding ring. Why do we need a wedding ring?
It's in case they get lost, so we need to put a different wedding ring on them.
If she's wearing her wedding ring, he knows that they're married.
But if they're not,
He might try it on.
I think it's like if they can remember that they've been married. If they were still married by the time one was 60 and one was 58, maybe because they were married when they were 20 or something, they might have forgotten. Well, I think a circle shows everlasting, and I think both of them having it means they love each other, and it's sort of just like a symbol.
it's just a plain gold ring.
And it can have like all different stuff on it. In my religion, they just put some sort of band on their hand to know if they really want to get married.
To show their undivided love.
To show everyone that they're married, so if someone likes that person as well, they can go.
See, as every grown-up would tell you, that you go like that, with a face like that, then everybody knows you're off the market. It's that simple. But, you know, marriage is not for everybody. 1 in 4 kids don't want to get married when they're older. Now, let's see what our lot think about that.
That's a question I've been asking myself, and I'm not very sure. No, I don't want to get married. I'm not sure. I'll just wait. When you get married, you've got to leave your home, and you've got to move out, and go live with your husband and all that.
Yes, I would like to get married, and I don't really know who to.
A nice girl who's really nice to people, who doesn't mind, isn't very fussy, doesn't like to argue, has a good mood, and someone who looks pretty. I don't mind if they're not pretty, as long as they're generous and kind and nice.
My brother says he's going to get married, 3 children. I think he's a nutter.
I think I'd be a bit more happy being on my own.
We're not married, and I don't want to.
It's too young to be married.
I sort of prefer being alone in the dark.
I'm sure if you ask nicely, your wife will let you spend some time alone in the dark. But having no time to yourself is not the worst thing about being married. So what is?
The worst thing about getting married is to get a boy. I hate getting boys.
The church could collapse.
Having to kiss in front of a lot of people.
Or the bride could run screaming out, crying. Having to share everything that you've got.
Having to share a bed. Big sloppy kisses.
The arguments, children.
Staying with each other for like years and years and years and years.
Having children, because then you have to stay with them all the time and they're wet in bed all the time. And then you have to change the nappies.
When they're married, they have to spend time with their wife and kids.
Get tied down because...
Let's say you want to go to the, to have a beer in the pub. Mm-hmm. Your wife might not let you.
Exactly. But then...
Yes, if your other half doesn't let you go down the pub, I can see where that can cause some problems. But what if your other half is a boy as well? Is that okay? 65% of kids don't agree with gay marriage. Wow, 65%? That's a lot. I wonder if our kids are any more open-minded.
I'm not being rude now or stupid, but I think you'd be gay, really. Well, it will be Gary, isn't it?
If a man likes a man, but not like a yeah, if a man loves a man, and that's called a gay. If a girl likes a girl, that's called a lesbian.
My mum said it's not right anyway, and then she started to show me the Bible.
I don't think men should marry men because they won't get any children that way. And when marry women, they'd get too much children, you know.
It's like the same with animals as well. Sometimes, like, cheetahs marry elephants like that. Then they have, like, cheetah elephants babies. Yeah. And man and a woman marry each other because they're in love. So why can't a man and a man marry each other, or a woman marry each other? That's a lot to say. Sorry.
They get to choose their own lifestyle, so that's completely up to them. There's nothing actually wrong with that.
So, according to kids, it's okay for a man to marry a man, but cheetahs marrying elephants, that is wrong. Well, I think people should be able to marry whoever they like. Your personal lives are your own business. Unless, of course, you're a member of the royal family, in which case, it's everybody's business. 58% of the public approve of Charles marrying Camilla. Well, they have had 30-odd years to get used to the idea. But what do you think the kids think about the new royal couple?
He was married or something a long time ago, but then his wife died in a car crash.
Princess Diana.
That's who it is. She was nice. She was like Mother Teresa, and she helped lots of people.
Yeah.
And then when he wanted to get married with her, the Church of England didn't want him to because they don't like divorces or something. I watched their wedding, but I liked her dress.
I don't think the Queen was too happy about Prince Charles marrying Camilla Parker Bowles.
He's made a very big mistake marrying her.
I don't think she'll regret marrying him since he is like a royal family person, and now she's quite, you know, like famous and stuff like that.
I think they'll have a lovely life, but I'm not so sure Camilla will give birth.
So, why not? Why won't she give birth?
Because she isn't old enough yet.
She isn't old enough yet. Do you think Charles should have married Camilla? Is that a good choice for him?
No.
You don't think so?
I think it's okay.
You think it's okay? Mm-hmm. And do you think, like in fairy tales, because he's a prince and she is a princess, that they will live happily ever after?
Yes.
Yes. Well, let's hope so. Thanks to Ruth and Lauren there for their honesty. Thank you very much. Okay. You know, it's sad but true that not every married couple have kids and end up happily ever after. More than 25% of children will experience their parents' divorce by the age of 16. Now, there are many reasons why couples decide to go their separate ways. In my experience, I guess sometimes it's just not meant to be. So, why do people get divorced?
Divorced is like the opposite of married. They marry each other, then they're stupid, and they run around getting fussy and break up. If the man divorces a woman, he gets loads of money.
If you're not happy in a relationship, you need to get out of it.
And you marry a person and you divorce them, and you get all their, and then you get all their money. You go to another person, hey, I want to marry you. No, you're dumb. You get all the money. Hey, I want to marry you. Oh, no, you're dumb. I get all the money. You'll be a billionaire in no time. Sometimes people stop loving each other as much as they did when they're married. They don't spend enough quality time together. They just have enough of each other.
If the feeling's gone, they don't love each other anymore.
They don't really punch each other, but they have an argument and fight. Then the relationship isn't working at all. If they stay together, they know they're going to carry on being a bit mean and getting silly. So divorcing is the best thing to do.
Some old heads on young shoulders, that's for sure. Now, Britney Spears is one. The Beckhams have 3. I've got 5. I'm not talking houses, I'm talking kids. Now, I love kids, but sometimes I wonder, why do we have them?
They just want a child to see what it's like.
If they think that they'd be good parenting material, or maybe not, maybe they think they'll just learn along the way, which is fine too.
So they can have things to pass on, like clothes.
So they can continue the circle of life. So they don't want humankind to run out. Otherwise, there'll be no humans left.
Because they want to sort of have something to keep them together.
Sometimes they just think it's boring just having your wife and husband, so they get children.
Kind of having a pet, but more annoying.
Maybe to carry on the generation if
And maybe to carry up the shopping.
And
Shane, is that why your mum and dad had you? So you can just carry shopping?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
yeah,
Is that what you spend all your time doing, carrying shopping all the time?
mostly, because we've got 2 babies and my mum carries up one and my dad covers up the other, so I always end up carrying the shopping.
Okay. Well, it's a rough deal you got there. How old are you, my friend?
8.
You're 8. And what about you, Daniel? Do you have to carry shopping or you got better jobs?
sometimes, not all the time.
No? So tell me something, because you're a couple of lookers. You got a girlfriend?
No.
No,
You're telling me you ain't got a girlfriend?
no, too young.
So why are you smiling like that? You got a girlfriend on the sly, haven't you?
No.
Have you got a girlfriend on the sly, Shane?
No.
If you had a girlfriend, would you know he's got a girlfriend? Would he tell you? Do you tell each other everything?
Yeah,
Yeah?
mostly.
Do you want to get married?
Yeah, when I'm older.
What, to each other?
No.
Because you said you ain't got no girlfriend, so I didn't know if you're talking about getting married to each other. So is there any celebrity ladies that you've seen on the telly that you like?
Yeah, Jennifer Lopez.
What? That was pretty quick. What do you like about Jennifer Lopez? You don't know? She's just very pretty?
Yeah.
And what about you, Shane?
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears? What is it about Britney you like so much? Do you fancy her?
No.
Do you fancy Jennifer Lopez?
No.
Do you want to kiss her? I bet you do.
No.
If Jennifer Lopez said, OK, I'll marry you, would you kiss her then?
If I was her age, yeah.
That's brilliant. Thanks a lot, guys. Just thanks Shane and David. OK, it's time to meet our special guest. Now, loads of questions have been raised about marriage and families, and to be honest, I don't have all the answers. But our guest tonight is married and has 3 kids, and maybe she can help. Please welcome the lovely Ulrika Johnson. Oh, yeah. Please, take a seat, Ulrika. You look lovely. How you doing?
This feels like the mastermind chair.
Yeah, it's got a mastermind chair feel about it, hasn't it? You enjoying the show? You've been watching?
Yeah,
What do you
great
think?
kids.
The kids are great, aren't they?
They're weird, aren't they?
They
Come
are
out with
weird.
some cracking things.
Great stuff. Stuff that we can't do. Grown-ups can't do, else you
No.
get in trouble. So the kids have got loads of questions for you, Ulrika, but here's what they had to say about you.
She's one of them presenters, isn't she? Pass. She looks like somebody from the news.
Yeah.
No, I don't know her. Sorry.
She looks very pretty. She has a book, doesn't she?
Ulrika Johnson.
Ulrika Johnson.
Yeah, I've heard of
You
her.
is someone beginning with I. What's her name's Ulrika?
O-R-I-C-A.
U-R-I-E-K-A?
I don't know. Ask him.
I've seen her in the paper loads of times, but I can't remember what for.
Is she the one that went out with Sven on Ericsson or whatever?
Well, she looks an awful lot like my Auntie Grania.
So, Ulrika, how do you spell Ulrika for the kids?
I'm not sure. I've had it spelt so many ways. It's U-L-R-I-K-A.
So, kids, see, now we know, OK? So let me ask you this. Who is the boss in your house,
I am.
Ulrika? You're the boss. No doubt about that.
No doubt about that.
OK, well, have a look at this, OK? More than 2/3 of kids think mum is the boss of the house. Now, of course, she is, and we all know that Dad just thinks he is, or at least that's how it always worked in my house. I wonder if that's the same for everybody.
My dad.
My dad as well.
My dad.
My dad.
My dad's the boss, not all day, but at night time. But my mom's the boss at daytime because my mom stays up all night. My dad, because he's got the loudest voice. And he's the oldest. My mum. Mommy. Not daddy.
My mum.
My mum. Mainly my mum, because whenever we ask my dad something, he says, ask your mum. If my dad wants to go and play cricket with his friends, my mum says you can go, but you have to come back before 7 o'clock.
My dad. And sometimes if Dad's downstairs,
she takes control of me. I'm the boss of my house, I'm bossier than my brothers, and I'm the film star of my house, the most popular one. I think the mum's the boss of the house, because your dad sometimes can go a little bit mad at you.
Dad. Both. I'm not saying.
A very diplomatic final answer there, but what about when it comes to the housework? Now, you're married to Mr. Wright. What's he like around the house? Is he good at cooking, cleaning, looking after the kids?
He doesn't cook that much, but he's quite good at looking after the kids, yeah.
OK, well, I hope he gets the credit for that. Have a look at this. Nearly 3/4 of kids in the UK thinks mum do most of the housework. Now, let's see what our lot think.
I'm the one who hoovers and mops. Mummy just lies up there in bed. And the children have to do all the work. If my little sister messes up the room, I tidy up after her. Mostly me. You? If the woman gets quite tired, then the man should help her do it. I think the dad should, because they're usually being lazy. Dad always watches TV, and he's very, very lazy.
They should help out instead of telling their wife to do it or something.
Sometimes men go to jobs, so the woman has no choice. She has to do it because the man isn't there to help her.
When my dad's looking after me, he don't make dinner. He sends me to the chip shop.
Every night my mummy shouts, "Amy, can you come in here and do my feet?" Her feet are smelly. I always just have to go down to the garden, get a clothes peg, and put it on my nose, and then go scratching her feet.
Mum in bed, dad watching telly, kids scrubbing feet. Just how it should be. Now, OK, I hope you're sitting comfortably, Ulrika, because I think the kids want to put a few questions to you. You OK with that? OK, Courtney's first. Don't worry, Ulrika. It's fine. OK, Courtney, where are you, Courtney?
What is the best thing about being married?
The best thing about being married is definitely having somebody who puts out the rubbish on a Wednesday night. That's the only thing I can think of. Really, it's very handy. If you weren't married, you'd have to do it yourself, and you can, but it's quite handy once in a while. Do you want to get married? I mean, not to me, obviously.
No.
No.
You don't want to get married?
Well, you can wait. You've got a few years to wait.
What about Shane? Shane's got the next question. You ready? Do you want to ask Ulrika a question, Shane?
What's your favourite football team or footballer?
What's your favourite football team?
Do you know, I've slightly lost track of football in the past few years. But I'm supposedly a Manchester United fan, and my favourite player is Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes, he scores goals. So, Emma? Where's Emma?
Do you think men should have babies?
Do I think men should have babies? I'd like to see them try. It'd be fun to see them try. I don't think it would last very long.
It could be a painful thing.
Yeah.
Who's next? Who have we got next? We've got Luke.
Who's the nicest famous person you know?
Ian Wright.
She wasn't even primed, no. I'll give you the check afterwards.
Yeah. Do you know, I mean, I know some famous people, but not sort of lots and lots. Yesterday I met Gabby Logan. Do you know her? TV presenter. She's very lovely. She's just had 2 little babies. Lots of people are nice, and lots of people in television are not very nice.
Who's not very nice? You going to name any names, or should we leave it to the kids?
No, I'm not.
OK, who we got next? Daniel?
Do you like being in the newspapers?
Do I like being in the paper? It depends if you're in the papers for something nice, or if somebody's saying something horrible about you. If somebody says something horrible, then it's not very nice. But I write for a newspaper now, so I really like being in the newspaper doing that. It's very, very much fun.
OK, and Kale?
Who looks after your kids when you're on TV?
Oh, God, I knew there was something else. I have a girl who is a nanny who looks after my children when I'm working, and if it's at a weekend, then it's my husband or maybe my mum or anyone I can find.
Okay.
Anybody.
Anybody who'll take them.
Yeah, exactly.
And Sasha?
How do you punish your kids?
How do I punish them? Naughty step.
What's naughty step?
My little girl or my husband goes on the naughty step.
OK.
No, my little girl will go on the naughty step if she has been naughty, and if it's bigger naughtiness than that, then she gets a time-out in her room. She gets put in her room and she gets a bit of time to think about things. And with my son, if he does something, then he gets banned from watching TV.
And does it work? Because, like, the kids, they go into the room and they've got all their toys in there still.
Yeah, I know. My daughter doesn't tend to play. She seems to scream for about 5 minutes. And with my son, he just sort of tries to talk me out of banning him from TV.
Okay.
But
And when your husband's naughty, what, does he get a step or a room, or
he gets put on a naughty step. I think I've left him there, actually. One time.
OK, we've got a question from Joel Grace. You ready to ask your question?
What's the nastiest thing you've ever done?
Oh, I lived in a block of flats when I first lived on my own, and for probably over a year, somebody had blocked the stairs up to the flat with boxes and boxes of stuff. And one day I just got fed up and I threw it out. And then someone came knocking on my door saying, I feel so awful about this, I hope they're not watching.
Come on, cleanse yourself, Ulrika.
All my family albums and photographs were in the boxes.
Oh, no.
No, see, you hate me now. It was awful.
It's a simple mistake. Easy
I've
mistake.
been there for a very long time, and I feel very bad, so...
Well, you know, if they've got their family albums and that in the boxes, they should have took them out. They didn't care about them.
Thank you.
Maybe they weren't getting on with that particular part of the family that was in those albums.
Yeah.
The final question we've got is from James. James, you got a question for Ulrika?
What does your kids think when you're on TV?
OK.
I don't know what they think, actually. I think that my son's been brought up with it. He's coming up to 11, so I think he sort of is kind of used to it. And when he was very little, he used to think everybody's mummy was on the telly, because I lived next door to Lorraine Kelly, and he used to play with her daughter, and so both their mums were on the telly, so he used to just think that everybody's mum was on the telly.
Thank you, guys, for those questions. Aren't they good questions?
Thank you.
Really good questions. OK. Now, Ulrika, you're a glamorous woman, and, you know, you always dress nice and behave well, but have you ever embarrassed your kids?
I always embarrass my children.
I was so pleased to say that, because I am constantly embarrassing my kids. You know what I mean? But we're not alone. We're not alone.
My mum and dad never embarrass me. Never. They don't do karaoke or anything like that. They never embarrass me.
Sometimes I start dancing around my friends. She calls me Louise.
We do have a cat, and she does quite like the cat, so sometimes she speaks to the cat, and that's quite embarrassing.
Well, once my mum took a hanky out her pocket and wiped my nose in a supermarket.
Sometimes they start bringing out baby pictures and stuff.
My mum came into my class and gave me my medicine. Yeah. Archie dear, medicine time.
I've seen my mum fall out of Memphis on an accident.
My dad just goes silly in public.
They try to play football and they fall over.
Tries to be cool, ends up embarrassing.
They give me kisses in front of my mates when, like, I don't want to, because my mates will laugh at me and think, you're a mummy's boy, but I don't care, because I love my mum.
We all love our mums, and so you should, even if she does blow off in front of your friends. Well, that's all we've got time for. So thanks to Ulrika Johnson for answering all our questions. Done well. Thanks to all the kids, the stars of the show. And join us next time for more of what kids really think. Good night. See you later. See you later, everybody.
The one-to-one